Good morning. This is Josh Hayes with Hedge Plus, and here's the market monitor for Tuesday, July 22nd. We're back to what appears to be the pattern of the slow drip down after a little bit of a weather scare late last week. It's one of the bummers about having a weather scare pop up on a Friday is the market rally that it provides might be gone before you even get back on Monday to see if it has any staying power. And this one did not. The I states got plentiful rain over the weekend, and that helped ease some of the concern. The heat is set to return. It is anticipated that we will get ample rain along with this hot weather, but that is not quite as certain as the heat is. So, low temperatures at night can obviously be an issue, and we're definitely set to see that again. Heat index in key Midwest states set to range between 100 and 110 by around tomorrow, and but there are forecasts rains to accompany it. It all depends on if that forecast holds up. But one of the issues we're seeing right now, we is something we actually just witnessed with corn. Corn prices got a little bit of a boost even without the weather a couple weeks back because it's Brazil and their safrinha crop was late coming to the market. Well, right now they're at that point where they're bringing it to market in full force, and we saw a little bit of the same with wheat. Wheat has actually had quite a few supportive aspects lately. Wheat inspections this past week were the best since 2008, and we've got trade deals being signed. Not earth shattering, but the deal signed with Bangladesh. It's one of the first deals to have specifics on agricultural goods and agricultural product. And Bangladesh is committed to buying 700,000 tons of wheat from us annually. It just shows what should be coming as we strike specific deals, not just deals on what the tariff rate will be, but what products will be uh, exported to these other countries. So that's going on with wheat, and yet wheat continues to drift down, as we'll see and hear in a little bit. But one of the aspect that's kind of a repeat of what happened in South America and with Brazil is Russia is now their harvest was behind, and now their harvest is caught up, and they are bringing wheat to market. So regardless of weather, regardless of great trade news, regardless of great exports, the fact that Russia is bringing their wheat to market, and Russia's also had a little bit of the exact same thing that Argentina was having, where they suspended their tax. That same thing occurred in Russia, where because they were behind and nothing was getting sent out, they suspended their export tax to encourage farmers to start bringing the wheat to market, and that's what's happening right now. So that's putting pressure on the wheat market in spite of all these other positive factors. With corn and soybeans, the news is mostly negative. We had poor corn numbers. It seems we've had raging corn numbers, wonderful corn numbers on export sales and inspections for quite some time. But on this most recent inspection report, very poor corn numbers. And it's basically our signal that what Brazil is bringing to market has finally reached a critical point where the world is basically shifting towards making their purchases from there, something that typically happens much earlier in the season. And we're seeing that now, so that's going to be tough for corn to overcome. We'll take a look at prices, how much they've uh, narrowed, if not drip below what the U.S. was offering. We'll see that on Thursday. And then also with the soybeans, just that soybeans were probably the number one beneficiary of the weather and the hint China might be buying last week. China's purchases are again in doubt. Trade deal is not so much in doubt as far as getting done. It's just in doubt of how long it's going to take. There's talk even that instead of holding to this August deadline with China, that Trump and Xi may have in-person talks, which could put their deadline to reach a deal all the way off until the fall. That could be a negotiating tactic by China. It just seems like a lot of these countries are trying to run out the clock, trying to push this off as much as they can to shorten the window of these trade deals actually being in effect, with the hopes that, of course, that there might be a different administration in 3.5 years. So regardless, that hasn't been exactly helpful for soybeans, and obviously the glut of supply coming to market right now with corn and wheat has been holding those markets down as well. Taking a look at weather, not too much weather concern around the world. Canada has been getting rains. Manitoba, northern and western parts of Canada are still a little bit too dry, but the rest of the country is getting rain. Beneficial rain finally landing in the EU and parts of Europe. And for Russia, the August forecast is for drying conditions, but that's actually helpful for their wheat harvest right now. Here in the U.S., definitely got the heat coming. It is, as of right now, being accompanied by rain, which is why the markets are not holding the rally that began on Friday. But we're back to that same mode of the long-term forecast still talks about the chance of hot and dry. It's not something the market's going to pay attention to until that shows up in a much nearer term forecast, like the 8 to 14 day forecast we saw when we had that rally at the end of last week. We ended up getting plenty of rain over the weekend that killed that rally. The conditions are there again. It's looming in the background that we might get hot and dry, but the deeper we get into this, the less and less impact it will have as we progress past pollination. Taking a look at overnight prices down across the board, the slow drip down. It's frustrating to have to show all these red numbers every day, but I will point out that the last time we had a market monitor on Thursday, we are very close to where we were. So this essentially means we're right back to where we were before the mini weather rally we had. Corn, we're down about 4 cents from that point. Soybeans are actually up 7, and wheat is almost exactly even. So we'll see what the day brings. We're very much right back to where we were, say, Thursday morning. There is no doubt if there is no weather, we will continue to drift down, because these countries are right smack dab in the middle of the period of when they're really flooding the market with products. So that's Russia bringing wheat to the market, Brazil and Argentina bringing corn and beans to the market, and especially corn right now, which they had been behind on with harvest with safrinha crop. That harvest is ramped up, and that product is now hitting the market. So that's going to be price pressure for quite a while, for weeks here, and we would have to have some kind of disruption or weather or some kind of concern to turn that around. And then, of course, we've got the USDA August report coming up. The thought is that they will raise acres. Maybe the only thing that could possibly happen there that would be beneficial would be as if they left yield. If they left yield alone. Expectation is that they're going to raise yield again in August like they did last August. And perhaps that's somewhat built in, so that if by any chance, maybe some of the pollination issues they've seen, maybe if they feel like it's a little bit more widespread than isolated, perhaps they'd leave the yield untouched, and that would potentially be a little bit supportive. But short of anything like that, we are anticipating a slow drift down and recommending people to protect the downside. That's all for today. I'll see you again on Thursday. I hope everyone has a great day.